morning, everyone. I'm used to saying good afternoon. Everyone could go ahead and take a seat.
Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order. And Mr. Lester, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Russell County Board of Supervisors meeting in the Government Center at 9 a.m. on March the 2nd, 2024. I'd like to first start off with a call of order and roll call. Andrew Hensley. Here. Luann Wallace. Tara Dye. David Eaton. Rebecca Dye. Nate Kaiser. And Steve Brady.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Jacob, would you do the invocation for us, please? Afterwards, stand. We'll take the lead invocation. Okay, our first item on the agenda is to approve the agenda itself. So, Lester, I understand we're one section passed through. That was the plats. Planning Commission plans.
Yes, sir. The first one is Matt Jordan's not going to be able to attend this meeting. He has to be set on the next agenda, so we can table that one. And also, the Planning Commission is still doing some revisions to their work, so that will be tabled till the next meeting, sir.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the agenda with those changes.
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second. Motion and second. Any discussion? Not all in favor, signify by saying aye. Hold on.
I just want to say that in my packet, I don't have the number 6 reports or number 7, but I asked Lonzo to clarify that I do not have 6 or 7.
Any further comments? All in favor of this motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Okay. Now we have some presentations. Shiloh. There you go.
Good morning. I would just like to thank you guys for allowing me to come and give a presentation to you all today. I know you all got our 2023 annual report in your January board packet. I just wanted to give an overview on some things that we're getting ready to do in 2024, and just thank you for allowing me to have this time. I'm Shiloh Little. I'm now Brooks, but
Congratulations.
Thank you. I do work with our Tourism Advisory Committee for Russell County. I also sit on the Part of Appalachia Tourism Board, Tourism Authority Board as a representative in DMO, which is Destination Marketing Organization for Russell County. You want to continue on in the presentation? Mr. Lester.
Say that again.
Continue on in the presentation.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just to give an overview, our department works primarily in enhancing travel in Russell County to promote an increase in tax revenue for the county. So we work with a lot of organizations. We work with Heart of Appalachia. We also work with the Virginia Tourism Corporation, which we have a representative here with us today. She'll also be giving a presentation on what VTC does for us in Russell County. I work with the Clinch River State Park and many more, along with a lot of our local businesses, towns, communities, event organizers, and so on. So just to give some highlight over the past year for the board, we did launch a updated website for Russell County. We've seen a drastic increase in the use of that site. We also have had very successful social media ads and promotions that have led to the success of that website. We hosted the first annual Heritage Festival this year at the Old Russell County Courthouse. It was very successful. We are very optimistic going into our second year of that festival. Through the funds that we were provided through Virginia Tourism Corporation and ARPA, we have developed a Russell County Adventure Guide. I believe each of you received a draft of that. If not, I will share that with you. Those are currently in the process of being printed and waiting for approval. So we also were able to work with some professional local photographers to increase our professional photography database, which allows us to continue to update our website with new businesses, images, high quality, and so on. So I just wanted to give an overview of the economic impact for Russell County, just for the clarity of the board. We have surpassed our pre-COVID numbers. From 2018 to 2022, we won't get our 2023 numbers until the end of this year, but we have surpassed those numbers by over 200,000, and that's in direct visitor spending. So those are visitors who are coming to our county and spending their money. That is, and I'm very optimistic to see what 2023 holds in those numbers because we were so successful in this past year in a lot of the ads and things that we have ran. So we were also able to work on and just so you know, we went from $25.7 million in tourism expenditures to $25.9 million in expenditures. And those are expenditures from people who are coming outside of our county and spending their money here. I have high hopes for us to continue to increase our tax revenue. We have not as of yet, but I'm optimistic for 2023 to see what those numbers hold. But we have not reached our pre-COVID numbers on tax revenue, but we are close. We are very close. We're like $10,000 away from reaching those numbers. So I'm very optimistic for 2023. If you would like to continue, Mr. Lester. Just some department goals for this coming year, which a lot of these we've already hit in 2023, but we're going to be expanding on further in 2024. We're increasing our brand awareness through the updating of our website, the success of our social media. We're able to enhance that brand awareness, which is Experience Russell County, Virginia. We have gotten some great feedback from visitors who are coming here. We're getting a lot of requests for brochures, things of that nature. We also have our content marketing goals, which is showing and engaging with our specific demographic, and which also continues into enhancing our partnerships. We're enhancing our partnerships with local organizations. We're enhancing those partnerships with local businesses. We're working with those businesses in terms of providing information on Virginia tourism, marketing grants, and things of that nature. We're also making sure that we're providing an immersed experience for our visitors who are coming here, making sure that they have a seamless and positive experience. We want everybody who's coming here, whether they're coming for a family reunion or if they're coming just to visit, if they're coming from out of town, if they're passing through, we want to ensure that they're able to have that positive experience for sure. We're also working on providing some networking opportunities for our industry partners to share information with our tourism-related businesses and stakeholders in the community. I'm currently working with, hopefully, Opportunity Southwest Virginia to work on having those socials and providing that partnership there. All of this to say, we are optimistic and very hopeful that all these goals for 2024 is going to drive our tax revenue for Russell County. So moving on, I just wanted to share this information with the community and with the board. The Cumberland Forest Community Fund will be opening in March. This is an opportunity for our local communities, towns to apply for funding, which is obviously focused on local communities and investing in their resources that they currently have. So once that information is shared, I'll be sure to share that with the board and the public as well. Just to give a little update, we are going to be having our ribbon cutting for the Cleveland boat launch, which is through partnership with the town of Cleveland and the county. That will be on March 26th at 10 a.m. And just to give a little preview, we have our pre-construction of the Cleveland boat launch. You can see here in the post-construction of that boat launch. And this is all located at the Riverbend Campground in Cleveland. With that development, they were also able to develop a picnic shelter at the campground, which is available for use, as well as a playground. And again, this is just an overview shot. All of this was in partnership with the Nature Conservancy and the Cumberland Plateau Planning District to be able to provide this opportunity for this enhancement in the town of Cleveland. And I would like to welcome Michelle Workman with the Virginia Tourism Corporation. She's going to give a breakdown of some data and some resources that are available and things that we've done over the past few years for Russell County.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me this morning. I am Michelle Workman, the Senior Destination Development Manager for Virginia Tourism. I get to work and live in this region and help people like Shiloh and our other tourism DMOs and tourism businesses and tourism product initiatives in the region. So Virginia Tourism, our mission is to expand domestic and international inbound and motion picture production to generate revenue and employment in Virginia. And how do we do that? By promoting the Commonwealth as a great place to visit and have your vacation. So I have some packets of information I gave out to all of you. One of them has our travel guide, so this is one way we promote the state as a travel destination, and you'll see this is the Carter Family Fold edition. So we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Carter Family Fold. So if you can take a look, we have some great events coming up through this year. And if you want to change the slide. Okay. So Shiloh talked a little bit about your county levels. First, I'm going to hit on our state economic impact. So we saw $30.3 billion in visitor spending in 2022, and that is a 4% increase over our 2019 levels. So we are going in the right direction, and that is a total of $83 million spent every day in Virginia. Thank you. And I won't hit on this too much because I know Shiloh did. So with that being said, Russell County is actually the third largest contributor for visitor spending in the Heart of Appalachia region, and that sustained 4.5% of Russell County jobs in 2022. And then this is actually a breakdown that you all also have in your packet, and it is the county level analysis. So it shows the breakdown of that visitor spending with accommodations being $3 million, food and beverage for 4.5, the retail being 12.6, recreation 1.6, and then the transportation 1.4. And then this is a breakdown of how much it saved each household of Russell County. So it's about $215 a year in tax savings in 2022. And we hope that increases in 2023. And then another thing that we offer that is a great resource for our tourism offices and our tourism businesses, especially when it comes to doing grants, is we have our points of interest data. So you all have these in your packet as well, but this is actually mobile location data. So we track cell phones and all of that data heavy things and seeing how long they're staying in locations and whatnot. So if you want to change the slide, I'll show a sample. I'll show the two that I included. Oh, wrong way. Thank you. So this is Lebanon Main Street. So this shows last calendar year, so January to December 31st. And it shows, you know, your top 10 counties within the state that are visiting Lebanon. It shows your top 10 MSAs, visits by days of the week. And then it also shows the top 10 cross visits. So we have 800 of these in our system across the Commonwealth. So we have Lebanon Main Street, and then the next one's going to be the Clinch River State Park. Also shows the same data, but this is great information when you're working on grants or working on your target markets and that kind of thing. So you'll see that one of the top 10 MSAs for the Clinch River State Park is Fairfield, Tennessee. So that's very interesting information. And then, like Shiloh mentioned, we have grant programs, and I know she's working on one now. And if you want to change the slide, there we go. These are actually the past grants that they have gotten since Russell County has gotten since 2016. And I did forget to list ARPA, which was $30,000. So we gave out an allotment across the Commonwealth to all 133 localities to help with the recovery marketing after COVID. So that is a total of all of those. I know Shiloh is working on a grant right now for you all. And then there's some others listed. And if y'all would like a list of those, I can get that to you as well. But you all have packets that have all of our information. So we have tons of resources at Virginia Tourism, and Shiloh is great to tap into everything that we have. Like I said, I live in the region. I'm happy to come and sit down with anyone who'd like to have one-on-one meetings. I know Mr. Eaton has connected me with potential people starting tourism businesses, and I've had one-on-one meetings with them and seen their property and that kind of thing. So if you have any questions, my contact is in the, yes?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Jill, that you can help me with. I've looked at all these numbers, and I've read as to how they're calculated. And visitation and tourism, really, tourism is lumped into visitation. Is that right? Because as I understand it, you correct me if I'm wrong, as they calculate these numbers, they take all the hotel receipts, motel receipts, restaurant receipts, and they total it all up, and that's where you derive your numbers. Is that right?
So we actually also work with the local treasurers. So we actually ask for your locality data as well. So, and that's all compiled and done through tourism economics, and our research team looks through that.
Yeah, but visitation would include people that are there for business purposes.
Yes, it's a 50. You have to be traveling outside of 50 miles. So we count 50 miles.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Well, so this, when you say these are tourism dollars, are not true tourism dollars. That would include a lot of work dollars. Would they not?
It would include business travel. I would yes.
Well, okay. That's the only question I have.
Okay. And I can get more breakdown of data if you'd like me to. I can get that to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, that's good. I got it. So with that being said, I would like to ask you and this board if we could move forward with working on our ordinances that we have now that will allow overnight stays in our parks. We don't have that at this time.
That'd be a good idea.
Does anybody on the board have any issue with that? You know, if we have to have an ordinance, we need to go ahead and start working.
I think that we have an ordinance in place for recreation places, but we do not have anything that says we support or we can have or overnight stays. Am I correct, Mr. Lester?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Right now you have a park and recs ordinance in place, but the component when it was developed did not have overnight stays in it because we did not have facilities at that point. So it needs to be updated. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Lester, if you put that on the agenda for a future board meeting, we'll try to look at that.
Yes, sir.
Very much well. Okay, next item is approval of the minutes of our last board meeting, which was February the 3rd. an opportunity to look at those. Need a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign.
Abstention.
One abstention. Lou was not there. Okay, next item is approval of our expenditures. Hope everybody's had an opportunity to go over those. So I'll need a motion for that.
So moved.
Okay, have a motion to have a second. Need a little
I'll
more
give
time.
you a second. This is moving forward on deals, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this matter? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, like sign. Next item is committee appointments. I don't think we have any appointments that have to do with this report.
Chair, Mr. Reed, currently, as the board has directed, excuse me. The board has directed, all new applications to be put in for the board, the authorities, and the committee. So they're coming in, and we also developed a new application, and so some of the ones that came through at the first are having to re-put back in, so we're compiling those, and those will be ready for the board at the next meeting.
Okay. Down to citizens' comment. Somebody can read the signage.
I don't think they could hear you.
Hello?
Alonzo,
Yes.
I need the tech guy over here. My internet's not working.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. As I call your name, we'll call in order. As I call your name, come up to the podium. Please be sure to speak in the microphone. State your name and your address. So first name, Dana Tucker.
My name is Dana Tucker. I live at 121 Hillside Drive in Tonacre, Virginia. You're using dynamic mics. Unless you move up close to them, nobody's going to hear you. Mr. Braden, when I told you that, the first thing you did was sit it further away from you. I couldn't hear you, and I know nobody else back there is going to be able to hear you. You have to get up close to them. On May 1st, 2023, you placed in your minutes that you went to executive session and you were talking about legal matters that concern Moss 3. Now, this would insinuate to me, and these are all my opinions, that this board had to have been discussing this months earlier. Nobody walks into a county board with a multi-million, if not billion-dollar proposition, and you decide to have a meeting on it the next day. During that time, Mr. Breeding, you and they did a podcast pulling out a call to everybody in Russell County to show up, even under unscrupulous circumstances, to oppose the noise ordinance. And yet I look around me, I don't see no Christians standing here, I don't see any people standing here talking as Christians, as a group, saying that they oppose it, and that led us to believe and start an investigation that we think you honestly did this to stop a bump in the road for this plant. Because you have no noise ordinance that you can judge any of this noise off of, and that's where we focused our investigation as of this point. We have a website that's open to all Russell County citizens, saverussellcounty.com. You made a comment that you didn't hear from a whole lot of people. I didn't see it. I think I seen it once. I don't know what it was about. But so far, at the end, or hopefully the middle of this month, we expect to break 500,000 page views. People are starting to understand this. Every board member sitting here can put your name on Google, just your last name. Type in Moss 3 Mega Landfill and you're coming to our site. Okay? And we're going to tell people what you're doing. And we're going to get their opinion. Now, oh God, I hate this part of it. You make enemies when you don't even try to. Miss Wallace, I have nothing but respect for you. First time I think I ever talked to you in person was when I walked up here earlier. She's the only one that contacted me back when I offered to provide my services of 47 years as a dedicated sound engineer to walk you through this noise ordinance process. I have the meters that you would have needed. She's the only one that contacted me back. Just so you know, when you say you didn't get the email, webmasters, and you can verify this with your county administrator, that man's a lot smarter about tech than I thought he was, or he gives the impression of. We can tell exactly when it was open, what IP address, instantly. If you ever wonder how the cops come kicking in your front door because you're trying to pick up an 8-year-old little girl, they use the same system. Okay? The tourism, what these ladies just talked about in these statistics, I've never heard those before.
Yeah, 36.
Okay, I know that we're probably close to one of the poorest people or communities in this state. And those tourist dollars should tell you people enjoy camping. That's what they do. They take their families and they go out camping. Okay? So until then, if y'all pass this, I will publicly refer to you as public probable murderers for future generations. I'd like to have this officially submitted into your minutes. That way, if I take you to court or you take me to court, my defense will already be in your own paperwork.
Thanks, Sam. Sarah Duncan.
This picture and let you know that these are my reasons.
Speak into the mic. Turn it down. There you go.
These are my reasons, and I hope that they will be your reasons too for saying no to this landfill. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarah Duncan. I live in Raven, Virginia. I was raised in Russell County, and I've lived here until I was in my 30s. My parents and family still live here, and my children spend a lot of time on land that's been in my family for decades, just a few miles from where this proposed site will be. I'd like to point you to two scripture passages. The first is Mark 12, 30 through 31, which reads, and this is Christ speaking, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Love your neighbor as yourself. I don't know you board members, but I love you with the love of the Lord. And I know that if propositioned, I would never sign my name on a line to put a harmful landfill in your backyards. No matter if 1,000,000 John Matneys was standing at my door knocking for me to do so. Because I wouldn't want that done to me. The second scripture I'd like to highlight here is Matthew 10:26, which reads, fear them not, therefore, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and hid that shall not be known. I don't feel it is by coincidence that Jennifer found what she did when she did that informed her of the plans of the landfill. If she hadn't found what she did when she did, we might not have had time to fight. Nothing covered that shall not be revealed, and I believe the Lord allowed that to happen. Please don't do this to this county. What else do we the people have to do to change your way of thinking on this? We've begged, pleaded, cried, and prayed, and will continue to pray. I know some of you are leaning towards yes on this, and that's your right. You have been voted onto this board for such a time as this. Proverbs 29:2 says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. You talk about a people rejoicing if you all vote no on this. If you vote no, life will go on for John Matney and his millions, and I assure you they will be just fine. His life won't change no matter how you vote. But if you vote yes on this, every single person and child in Russell County and surrounding counties will not be just fine. We'll be stuck for decades to come with other people's rotting trash, and there won't be a thing we can do to stop it. What are you going to do with the power that comes along with the seat the Lord has allowed you to be in? You will either forever be known as the people who sold us out and our children out, or the ones who saved us. One day, each of you and each of us are going to have to stand before the judge, and he does not care who John Matney is. And more importantly, he cannot be bought. You know in your heart of hearts what you should do, and I'll be praying that the good Lord will give each of you the courage of our convictions to simply vote no. And in doing so, you'll be saying yes to God's blessings upon this county. I believe that. I agree with R.D. Sneeden that there are other options for this piece of land. And you just watch. You say no, and you just watch what the Lord will bring this county's way. He will show out. In the words of the late Charles Stanley, obey God and leave all the consequences to him. Thank you.
Josh Burgess.
Josh Burgess, 1857 Archer Road, Southwest Virginia. I am very much opposed to this landfill. I ask the question, why are we here? Why are all of us here today? Why are all these wonderful people here today? Because we all care, and we are extremely worried about the health of our families, friends, neighbors, and the environment of Russell County for generations to come. The Russell County's greatest asset is the people. The very people you are all looking at here today. Why do all these wonderful people live in Russell County? Because it is a choice. It is because we choose to live here. If we wanted Abingdon, we would move to Abingdon. If we wanted a Bristol, we would move to Bristol. Russell County is a hidden treasure, and we, the people, understand that. There is no amount of money, influence, or political promise that would cause me to turn a blind eye, ignore, or downplay any concerns, ideas, or opinions the wonderful people of Russell County had to offer. So I ask you, our representatives, not to just hear us speak, but to please listen to us. Please listen to what we are saying. When you step outside today, please take notice and appreciate that you do not have we do not have toxic odor of a mega landfill in the air. We do not have hundreds of trucks filled with out-of-state trash. This destination is one of the most protected biodiverse locations in the country. We don't need a sales pitch. We all deserve the honest truth. Y'all may wonder, why does Josh show up at every meeting? Why is he here? When I heard about this landfill, the first people that I contacted was the very people that will write the permits for this landfill. And I asked them, what can we do? What can I do? I need some guidance. They told me this would be a horrible decision to set this landfill at this location. And I said, what do I need to do? They said, you and your community need to come together and support your board of supervisors to vote no to this thing. Without their approval, we cannot write the permit. That came from the horse's mouth. And that's why I'm here. And I appreciate y'all very much. And thank y'all.
Thank you. Michelle Vance.
Morning, everybody. Michelle Vance. I live on the Springs Drive. Also own Something Special Auctions, Antiques, and Firearms. One of the things I just wanted to come up here and say today is when you all are trying to get businesses to come in here to Russell County, which I think is wonderful, please don't forget your small businesses. My business is growing by leaps and bounds. I am running out of room. There is no room here in Russell County. I'm working on a few things that I'm hoping that I can get done. But we need more space. Space is not readily available here in Russell County for businesses that are medium sized. And we need it. So please keep that in mind. The other thing that I want to do is I want to formally invite everybody here tonight at 6:30 at 423 Railroad Avenue in Honaker. I will be having a rally for Chuck Smith, who will be running for Senate against Tim King. We are trying to collect signatures to get him on the ballot. I will be in the back here after the meeting if anybody would like to sign. And in no way does this say that you support him, that you will vote for him, or anything like that. It just puts his name on the ballot so that we have him running in the primary. Other than that, just remember your small businesses that are already here and already making an impact in your county. Thank you.
Betty Dickinson.
I'm Betty Dickinson, 1880 Harold's Valley Road, Castlewood. I only have one copy of each of these. I will give them to you, Mr. Brady, or to whoever needs.
Mr. Lester.
Okay, Mr. Lester.
He'll make copies.
The first, they're both factual information. First is a scientific paper entitled Environmental and Socioeconomic Impacts of Landfills. This is an international study authored by multiple published and cited experts that are outside the influence of our state or local entities or persons, so it's completely unbiased. It's quite technical, a bit lengthy, so if you will look at it, you'll see I've taken the liberty of highlighting pertinent information, key findings that this paper has. After looking at this, there's many more studies out there. Is it a wonder that we're also against this landfill coming to our county? The second of these is a graphic taken from our own Cumberland Plateau Planning Region and Local Action Plan Summary in 2016. You can see right pretty easily the red area, the only red area in this Cumberland Plateau that indicates the PSGC, Priority Species of Greatest Concern or Need. Tier 1, these are critical conservation species that face extinction. They're in Russell County, nowhere else in Cumberland Plateau, right where this landfill is going to go. I have yet to speak to anyone, even in this county or outside of this county, that is for this landfill coming in here. No one. You can raise our taxes and ruin our property values and environment. We pay either way. But at least if you raise our taxes, that only costs us money. If you put in a landfill, it will cost us and you much, much more than money. You do have the power to stop this. Vote no, please. I'm done.
Thank you. Somebody Boyd.
Good morning, everybody. It's so glad to see you early morning Saturday. My name is Svetlana Boyd. I live on 114 Wires Court, Lebanon, Virginia. I'm a little man with heavy Ukrainian accent, so forgive me, please. I hope you understand what I will tell you. I was here in December asking about leaving the town and joining the county. I have come here today to check if anyone has any update or information about that. Between December meeting and now, I have been doing some research, and I found out that our property is not actually with the town limits. During the public hearing back in 2007 by the town and county, they voted to have a boundary adjustment which included our property. However, the map wasn't updated and wasn't recorded by the clerk of the court. According to paragraph 15.2/2234 of Virginia law, within 30 days after adoption of the official map, the governing body shall cause it to be filed in the office of clerk of the circuit court. Based on all of this, we are not within town limits. I checked with the clerk of the court, and the Russell County map wasn't recorded after the boundary adjustment either. So, as a resident of Russell County, I'm begging you to stop the town from removing my son's home. And preventing him from living here. The court has ordered me to move his home by March 13. I urgently need your help in this matter. Mr. Breeden and Mr. Kaiser, my family and I, we vote for you. You're representing us, so I'm asking you here today, help us, please. Mr. Lester, I talked with you 3 times. Please check the map. Please help us. And I have a short message for citizens of the Russell County. Okay. I would like to tell you that I'm so proud to be an American, and I'm so grateful that I live in this country. And this country was built on this very important book. This is our law, and this is another book. Please don't let our government take this away from us. I moved here from country which don't believe God. Believe me, it's wrong. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Jared Ring.
Steve. 1 second. Mr. Ring, will you give me 1 second? Mr. Kilgore? Mr. Kilgore, it sounds like by Ms. Boyd's information there that the town and the county were out of order with the boundary move. Will you look into that? And if they are trying to remove Ms. Boyd's property from a county sitting property, not a town sitting property, there needs to be a injunction put in place immediately.
Hold it down, please. Hold it down, please. Hey, Jared.
My name is Jared Ring, 149 Calvary Baptist Road, Castlewood, Virginia. 2 things I'd like to say before I get into the meat and potatoes of my speech. Please help Svetlana. Taking someone's home in the name of government bureaucracy is monstrous. Now, the second thing is, that was a wonderful presentation on agro-tourism and pointing to some of the business traffic that is a fraction of that, so you can discredit the tourism industry's impact on our economy, presumably to make the landfill more defensible, is intellectually dishonest, and I did not appreciate it. Now, the main part of my speech. 3 minutes is a long time to listen to nonsense and a short time to try to say something impactful. The Rings came to Russell County originally when Thomas and Stephen Ring were given land here with their pensions for fighting in the Revolution and the War of 1812. My family helped build this country and this county. Several of you have been a part of building the legacy of Russell County too. Many of you have done admirable work in getting us new trails, new businesses, even charities to help underprivileged children. I've seen a lot of you working right alongside me at local festivals that help give towns entertainment, recreation, and stimulate the economy. All of that legacy, everything each of you has done to help this place, is threatened by the landfill. You do have the authority to reject this. This very board denied a landfill and incinerator proposal with an ordinance in 1991. There is precedent for rejecting something exactly like this. Do you want your legacy to be the preservation of this place or turning its primary industry into garbage? Do you want your legacy to be trails, or do you want it to be trash beside every rail bed and roadway? Do you want to be the board that served the people who elected you, or the board that believed or that confirmed all their worst beliefs about government? Do you want your children and grandchildren to remember that you served with honor and integrity, or do you want a shadow to be over your memory when they grow to see what you've done with the landfill? Think on what you want your legacy to be. I don't want my family's legacy in this county to end, but I will not remain here and wait for my family to get sick. I will leave this place, and so will your children and grandchildren if this landfill goes in. Trash is not an economic plan for the future, and I cannot find a single area who has a mega landfill that prospers. Be honest and give us the environmental report that our tax dollars paid for ahead of the meeting when we speak about it. Do the right thing and vote no on this landfill.
Sherry Patton.
Good morning. My name is Sherry Patton. I live at 1326 Old Postal Road in Hansonville. Now, I thought a lot about what I was going to say, using my 3 minutes to talk about the dangers of putting a landfill in the Moss 3 location and the detrimental effect it would have on tourism dollars. And I was planning on coming in here complete with facts, charts, maps, fault lines, sinkholes and tourism dollars, which I looked into. Really enjoyed the presentation earlier too, by the way. But, I was like, okay, they have to listen to this. And then I realized 2 things. Number one, we've been doing this and y'all don't seem to care about the facts. So at least that's my perception. And again, because this is not a question and answer, none of us really know what's going on in anybody's heads. So again, my perception is y'all don't care. The second thing I realized was this was your job as a board of supervisors to do your due diligence. Y'all were aware of the potential and the huge scope, 6,000 tons of hazardous waste every single day coming into this county. Y'all were aware of this private landfill long before the people of Russell County were. You should have led the charge to determine the risk and the liabilities. Instead, y'all worked in secret, behind closed doors, leaving we the people to play catch up. The only thing that I see that you have done is spend over $50,000 for a feasibility study for a private landfill that will ruin our area solely to benefit a few multimillionaires. That's $2,000 for every man, woman, and child in Russell County. You spending taxpayer dollars on behalf of John Matney makes about as much sense as Bill Gates inviting me to lunch and then me picking up the tab. Thank y'all.
Tammy Garrett.
Good morning, I'm Tammy Garrett. I live at 336 Russell Street in Lebanon. I'll begin with the known hazards and dangers of landfills, the pollution to our air, water, streams, and groundwater, land, associated vermin, noise and smells, and the damage to our roads. Taxpayers of Russell County will eventually pay the price for all these types of pollution. We know from research that all landfills eventually leak. I presented that information before. Taxpayers will pay for that as well. This landfill will be a mega landfill. It will eventually be almost as big as the largest one currently in Virginia. That landfill is in Waverly, Virginia. It's 1,300 acres. This proposed landfill is to be 1,250 acres and will be used for decades, and that's according to Russell County Reclamation in their printed material. The largest landfill in the world is the Apex landfill in Nevada. It's 2,200 acres. At capacity, it accepts 10,000 tons of garbage a day. This proposed landfill would accept 6,000 tons of garbage a day. Again, this will be a mega landfill. Would our tourism board want to add? Come experience Virginia's largest landfill. Next, how are the facilities at this site to be paid for? There's no infrastructure on the site. There's no wastewater treatment plant. No place for trucks and trains to be washed out. Where would this remaining waste and wastewater go? Into the streams and the groundwater? Onto the land? There is an abandoned underground mines, Chain Creek Deep Mine, that runs 8 miles deep there. No problem for the water to seep in. Our group, Say No to the Landfill at Moss 3, which has over 2,000 members on Facebook now, has found enough evidence to show that this project has been mishandled and misrepresented from the very beginning. Board members should be extremely hesitant to vote in agreement for this landfill until further evidence is forthcoming. This project should, in fact, be started over with transparency and with a citizens committee. Okay, that's required by code. Last, I ask that all printed documents submitted from past meetings and from today should be entered into the record of these meetings as it appears the county administrator has not shared all the presented information with board members. Lou Wallace and Nathan Kaiser are the only board members who have responded to my concerns. In solidarity.
Timothy McClanahan.
Timothy McClanahan, 188 Sykes Drive, Honecker, Virginia. Well, I wrote 2 or 3 things to say. I'd kindly come here to, I guess, plead on you more Christianity views. It seemed like some of them's already beat me to it. I mean, you know, morality, its principles concerning the distinction between right and wrong, good and bad behavior. Christian leadership. Integrity. Integrity is the true heart of leadership. Without integrity, a leader talks, lacks honesty, honor, and ethics. The Bible teaches the righteous who walks in his integrity walks securely. Proverbs 10:9. The world needs leaders who clothe themselves in integrity. That's all we're asking. We don't work. Why can't we have a pauper gap? It don't have to be a pauper gap, something else. I know you're one of you grandyoung, 2 more up on the hill. I don't want them to have to move out there. I enjoy hearing them screaming and hollering. I mean, I'm just pleading to no land. Thank you.
Randy Collins.
Morning, everyone. I haven't met you all. Well, I know of Nate, but I haven't met you all till today. My name is Randy Collins, 308 Farmland Drive, Lebanon, Virginia. I'm from Smith County originally. I married my husband, Brandon Collins, and we've been here since 2008. I love Russell County. I love Southwest Virginia. A little bit about me is I started my career in pharmacy about 13 years ago. So I've been in it for 13 years. I've been battling what I feel like is the drug epidemic side of the Appalachian region. And I'm definitely not the popular one, but I can relate to what you guys are going through because in my job every day, I have to remind myself I work for Jesus. I don't work for people. And what I take pride in is keeping drugs off the street. So if I see something coming in to my area, to my little community, and it's coming out of Richmond, I'm like, this isn't right. This is a high quantity. I don't want drugs on the street. So again, it's not a popular job. It's not a hard job. I don't get thanked, until recently the DEA, probably the only one that'll ever say thanks to me, right? So got that going for me. So I can relate to what you guys are going through when it comes to that. But I just want to remind you, like, here I am today, 13 years later, and I'm like, let's keep trash off the streets. Let's not take 5 different states' trash into our county. Let's keep our county beautiful. Smith County's beautiful. Russell County is beautiful. I really liked the tourism that they presented, and I just want y'all to know that I'm here for y'all. We support you guys. We've seen some signatures, we've seen some deeds, grant monies, dates, and things, and yeah, there are a lot of questions, but the main one that I have is, where do we go from here? Like, how can we all come together and figure something else out for our local trash that doesn't bring a mega landfill? Because I want my kids to live here and come back here. So I'm just begging you guys to just consider, saying no, keeping it out of here, just saying no, and know that we got your back. Like, it doesn't matter what y'all done. I don't care. I look forward to meeting all of you all on a personal level and helping you. Industrial, let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. But let's bring it in a different way. So I just want y'all to vote no for this landfill. Thank you.
R.D. Sneed. R.D. Charles King Jr.
Good morning. I'm not going to take time to speak against it because we've got plenty of people here that have already done that. However, I will say this. Hypothetically, if this facility is allowed to come into the county, it would be my hope that as much revenue as possible would come into the Russell County coffers. Because I don't know if people are aware of what's happening over in Tazewell County about the tax assessment. I know one person said they were concerned about taxes going up. A 40% hike in taxes. I don't know what's going to do y'all, but I know what's going to do me. And it's something we need to all be thinking about. Once again, I'm talking about past this if it's approved. That people who steward this see that Russell County gets as much revenue as possible out of it. Thank you.
Wanda Simmerly.
Pull that mic down a little bit, honey. There you go. There you go.
I live at Clinchfield, Cleveland address, and this would be very close to where I live. And I am opposed to a landfill at Moss number 3. I believe that some of you are Christians, and Jesus loves you and wants to save anyone that is lost. There's a lot of people in our area that's praying that this landfill will not go in. Every person is precious to God and worth something. What if your son or your daughter or your parents or your babies lived near Moss 3 if it was a landfill? We're supposed to love our neighbors as ourselves. And you are my neighbors. Honesty in business. In Hosea 12:7, the merchant uses dishonest scales. He loves to defraud. We hear and read much about corruption and questionable tactics in business world. The abuses are symptoms of humankind's greed found in societies the world over. Hosea describes this greed in the words of our text. He shows that a desire for gain acquired by deception at the expense of the buyer. It occurs frequently. The merchant who resorts to deceit, the storekeeper who gives customers short weight, the dealer who mislabels the goods, the salesperson who hides the defects of a product, all of these may deceive the buyer, but their craftiness does not escape the Lord's scorn. The commandment, thou shalt not steal, applies to dubious deals that are passed off as good business. It is, of course, possible to be a Christian business person and then to adhere to the principles of fairness and honesty. This is the only policy that wins God's approval. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of person. And you can't fight against God. Please don't let this come into our area.
Brief item.
Hi everyone, I'm Bree Fife of Mountain View, California, formerly Cleveland, Virginia. I'm here today because I think every single person in this room has the same goal, to make Russell County better. But there seems to be a misalignment on how we think that we can get there. To the Board of Supervisors, I have a lot of empathy for you. Most of you came into your roles when Russell County was in a declining economy, surrounded by other counties who are fighting for survival as well. But this community has shown that we care and that we're here to stand behind you as long as we feel heard. You know, I grew up in Cleveland on a tobacco farm, went to the University of Virginia and obtained a mathematics degree, followed by an MBA from the Darden School of Business, and spent most of my career at one of the top management consulting companies in the world. And I bring this up for two reasons. One, there seems to be a misperception that our community is stupid, and that's been used as a reason to dismiss many valid concerns that the citizens have raised. And, you know, I say all the time that some of the folks that I grew up with can go head to head with all of the brilliant folks that I work with. They just didn't have the same privileges or chose a different lifestyle. The second reason I bring this up is to show how incredibly qualified I am when I say that this landfill is not a smart financial decision. Any tax revenue gained will likely be offset by the cost of the damage it will cause to our incredibly biodiverse natural resources, as well as the declining population of folks moving out of the county. Not to mention the opportunity cost of all of the industries that will not come here if there is a mega landfill. You know, I'm sure Russell County Reclamation has sold you on the potential of the landfill. Maybe the methane can create energy. Maybe the leachate can be used to cool data centers. But their job is to sell you on the upside and not the downside. When you look at the risk profile, the downside of damaging our most precious resources and our agricultural economy far outweighs any maybes and mights that they're trying to sell you. And I'm sure the coal executives made the same sells when they were giving millions in bonuses to the executives while the miners who quite literally broke their backs for them couldn't receive health care. And I'm sure that the same thing happened when Purdue Pharma sent their sales reps into our region first to market OxyContin. And it's time to look at these unethical corporations in the face and say no more preying on Russell County. Thank you.
Larry Hughes. Larry Hughes.
Really come. My name's Larry Hughes. I live 30 Glow Hall Drive in Lebanon. Probably where the crow flies, I'll be about 4 to about 5 miles from the landfill. So I guess I'll have a concern in those 2 ridges over, but I am still concerned with it. I do want to thank the board for stepping up and representing the citizens of this county. I know we have a very diverse background. We got people with business degrees, around business, engineering, farmer background, the school system, again, parents. And I hope you take your background as a very cross group of people and come together with a reasonable conclusion. I would ask, as a board brought you members up to steam, up to current business operations for what problems we had in the past and what we're faced with. So we need to make sure we are being trained that way. They're not. They need to be aware of that. You are elected to represent the people. And again, I've got mixed emotion on this landfill right now. I'm still torn. But I think we need transparencies in all your dealings. I don't think there's been enough transparency in the past with this board to come here. I know first time I heard about this landfill was probably in June of last year, 23, and I think it was well before then. I'm going. So if it's knowledge before that, that should have been brought forward to people, so we would have. We feel like you're stuffing things down the throat without giving us a chance to know what's going on. That's not good. You represent us. Transparency is important. The landfill is a legal status. Can the county stop it? If you can, you need to take this in serious consideration. If you can't stop it, just tell it it can't be stopped. It's going to be a done deal. Then let's make the best of it. Do what you can to protect the citizens. But again, if you can't stop, you need to listen to people. That's what the people want. But the county is going to have landfill somewhere or some way to dispose of the trash. I think we won't be running into problems in the near future if we don't have something this way done. But again, listen to your concerned citizens, because we elected you to represent all the citizens of the county. Some those for it and those against it, for all of us. Again, concerned citizens, again, I have my concerns with the landfill. If it fails, there's a failure. If this company comes in, they get it going, they realize they're not making money, they file bankruptcy and we walk away. Do we have high enough bonds that will take care of the environmental impact to clean this up? Or are we going to be stuck with it? Like so many things we are. So again, that needs to be make sure you're taking care of. Again, health concerns. I've got kids, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I'm worried about that. I don't know whether it can be done, whether it's been done right or not. They say there's been landfills in the United States doing work well, and others are not. Bristol's a prime example of one's not. So again, there's a funding problem. When money's got tight, the landfill got bad. So that worries me. If the businesses get tight, well, this landfill gets bad. So those are things I hope you're taking into consideration. What's the environmental long-term effect? Is it going to hurt our families? Is it going to hurt our kids? Is it going to hurt our nation, this county, the citizens here? Is it going to hurt the land value? So those are things you need to really be considering. I don't know. I'm sure you are, but I'm telling you these things I'm worried about. Again, we do need to have a landfill, I think, in the future, how we're going to do it. Need to, again, just make sure we develop something in the future. Again, I am quite emotional about it. I'm not sure. I'm still myself. Thank you.
Forrest Christian. Forrest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Morris Christian. I reside at the big section of Russell County. I want to say I've served on this board for 4 years as supervisor at large. When I was campaigning for that position, I told people I would vote the way I thought was right and best for the citizens of Russell County. And when this landfill situation come up in the Chamber of Commerce forum, I let them know that we were acquired a consultant and advisor on this landfill situation, and I very soon took position that I'll be against the landfill. I've been against it since. When I campaigned for this last season, I put out on Facebook, newspaper, my political handout that I was a no for the landfill. Today, I am still no for the landfill. I do not support it in any way. Like I spoke last board meeting, I know we're gonna have to do something with our trash here in Russell County for the Russell County citizens, but that doesn't mean that we gotta open up Russell County for all the other counties of Virginia and subject to all the states in the United States. So we're gonna have to get a solution to this, but I do not think that we need what that they get put before us as a landfill for Russell County. So let's think hard and sincerely what is best for the citizens and see if we can't work out something besides what they got proposed before us now. Thank you very much.
David Dingus.
My name is David Dingus. I live on Grapplewick. On the way to this meeting this morning, my father and I measured it. So this landfill is going to go in about 3.5 miles from my home. I've been a resident of Russell County for 44 years. I'm fortunate enough to live in my family home. And along with some of the other folks here today, I expressed concern over this landfill coming in. And as I understand it, this is completely up to the Board of Supervisors on whether or not this landfill comes in. According to the emails and information that I've read, the delegates say that this is completely in the hands of the Board of Supervisors. And from standing here today, I don't understand what we're doing here. Like, I don't understand why this can't be addressed quickly. You guys have the opportunity to set the minds of several concerned citizens at ease. You know, like the lady over here said earlier, I think there's a misconception about the level of intelligence of the folks that live in this county and why I do not have a degree in, you know, biology or environmental studies. What I do have a degree in is human behavior. And I think it's quite clear that anything that is done in the dark is meant to intentionally to be deceptive. We're not going to be allowed to see the environmental study. That to me, it doesn't appear deceptive. It is deceptive. I would very much encourage you, since you do have this power, to say no to this landfill. You know, I, like some other folks here today have said, I could have left Russell County. And I hear folks all the time say, oh, there's nothing to do here and it's awful here. Well, that's not true. It's what you make of it. And I decided to stay here because I love it here. And I have a family here. And I want my family to stay here. And I cannot stand up and spout lots of facts and figures for you. But somebody mentioned empathy. And for you folks, I would encourage you folks to use a little bit of empathy. You know, how would you like trash to be piled up in your backyard? How would you like folks to decide you're going to bring trash from other areas and put it in your backyard? Well, that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Walter Dingus.
My name's Walter Dingus. I also live on Gravellick for 5 generations in this county. I don't know how long all of you have lived here. The reclamation of Russell County that I have read online and looked at is a total falsehood. This is a company that goes in there and promises you roses and rainbows, but the only thing they're interested in is money. And I don't want this county to be ruled by money. Each one of you were elected by your constituents. And each one of you, I'm sure, when you campaigned, told your constituents you had their best interests at heart. So you tell me how you can put a toxic eyesore in this county when the people entrusted you to do the right thing. This is not about money. This is about the people of this county.
I want to, hey, listen, we're going to have to hold it down in the audience, please. Let the gentleman speak.
Now, this morning when we started here, we had a prayer. We pledged allegiance to the flag. In that pledge of allegiance, one of the things that sticks in my heart every day, I fly a flag in my yard on Gravel Lake Road every day. One of the things that sticks in my heart is liberty and justice for all, not just rich, greedy corporations. Now, each one of you have made a promise to the citizens of Russell County, each one of you, and I'd appreciate it if you would look me in the eye. Each one of you has made a promise to the citizens of this county. Your constituents, they have put their trust in you to look after their best interests. And I would be so gratified if you would take that seriously and put their interests at heart, not money, not greed, not corporations, because these are the people of Russell County. There's already one landfill a half a mile from where they're going to put this one in there, an old county landfill. So why does this end of the county need to be the dumping ground of the whole county? Because there's no subdivisions there. Nobody has any law offices there. No businesses over there. Well, these people don't matter. Just throw it over there. Well, if you allow them to do that here, each one of you in here needs to know that someday it'll be in your backyard. And if that's what you want, is that what you want? Is that what you want to do to the people of Russell County? We don't need trash from all over this country in our backyard. This whole area in here has been raped enough by mining, by timber, nothing reclaimed. And this so-called reclaim was all for profit. They went through the old slate dumps, filled their coal out, and sold it for money. Well, I hope that my time is not up. That's all I can say.
Dr. Amy Branson. Amy. There you go.
My name is Dr. Amy Branson, and I've spent years in regulatory compliance, and usually if something seems fraudulent and inaccurate, it is. I'm begging the board to consider all the other information that we have that potentially shows that this is a convoluted inside job to destroy our community and make money. Not to be the saving grace to the county that they promise that it will be. The board has stated time and time again that Delegate Kilgore is not the board's legal counsel involving landfill matters. But when my FOIA request for the Potista study, which was contracted by the county and paid for by the county, was ignored by Mr. Lester, it was Delegate Kilgore who invoked legislative privilege to put off my court case conveniently until after the host agreement meeting. This is not a simple FOIA violation. This was a landfill matter. I should have the right to deal with the Board of Supervisors landfill attorney, Gentry Locke, not Delegate Kilgore. Is Delegate Kilgore representing the landfill or not? It seems this is the issue, and in this issue, he was. Delegate Kilgore participates in many agencies, including the Tobacco Commission and the DMME Ambler Advisory Board. Both these boards gave grant money to Russell County Reclamation and Project Reclaim with John Matney. The board states time and time again that they want full transparency. Then give us transparency. Give us the Potista study without us having to take you to court. Stop making every request for information impossible. Stop being so difficult with our FOIA request. Most of this information you should have provided to the citizens already. The Board of Supervisors and the IDA were both non-compliant with FOIA, and this could be easily remedied by providing citizens with what they deserve, information. If you want transparency, give us transparency. As citizens of Russell County, we deserve the information to make educated decisions. You're the problem here. You are withholding information and hindering our ability to even have input. The Board of Supervisors needs to limit the ability of the IDA after its many unsuccessful ventures. There should be more oversight in this process when there are millions of dollars of grant money involved. What happened to Project Whale? Even the town of St. Paul knows a bad deal when they see one, and we thank them for supporting our movement. They have written you a letter of opposition, so take heed. This won't negatively just affect the citizens of Russell County, but will have detrimental effects on Southwest Virginia and beyond. You can pass an ordinance to block the landfill. You can vote down the host agreement. You have the power to stop this trash train dead in its tracks. Please use your powers wisely, as others around you may not have. I would also like to take the time to thank the Tourism Board, Michelle and Shiloh, for that information. And if we had given them $7.7 million in grant money, we'd have a booming tourism economy.
Christine Caudell.
Is that okay? I don't want to point fingers. I don't want to place blame, but we do need solutions. We need to solve community-wide issues, but we don't need to solve those issues with a landfill. I ask you all to really close your eyes and think about your futures, your children's futures. What do you see? You really do have an opportunity to be heroes. You know, for this whole county and even our neighboring counties. We could have one of the largest trail systems and state parks in Southwest Virginia if things are utilized correctly. You know, we can build a community that our children will grow to love, in turn keeping it for generations with endless opportunities. You want a strong community, focus on them while also maintaining economic long-term value. But economic growth of 30 to 35 employees, that is laughable when the vision is so much more. We are more valuable than that. We are a strong culture, we are a persistent culture, and we are an independent culture. It's about time we shine the light on all the things that Russell County has to offer. We were promised manufacturing and recreation, not the statistically bleak future you are negotiating. Our land is not negotiable, our land is workable, and let our future generations bring it back to life. So I do plead with you to find solutions. Find solutions. Let us collectively show the rest of the area how those solutions can be found, and it's going to be working together. Thank you.
Mr. Brady, Mr. Brady, could you restate that lady's name? I did not get it. I'm sorry, I could not hear it.
That was Christina Caudell.
Thank you. I apologize, Mr. Claudio. I didn't catch your name.
Okay. Next, Kurt Sayers.
Kurt Sawyers, live on Cargo Road, Cleveland, and I'm here today to ask you all to vote no. I've heard so many rumors, and I haven't heard anything about how you all feel. And I think we deserve that. I think as citizens, we deserve to know how you all feel about it. There's an old saying that silence is golden. Well, your silence is not golden. It's deafening with the questions that we have as citizens. And the first question that all of us would ask, and I don't know the answer, is how do you feel about it? How are you going to vote? And I think we deserve that. I've been to the public meetings, and I heard what John Matney said. I know how he feels about us. He feels like that we're a sparsely populated area and a bunch of poor, ignorant people. That's basically what he said. And I need to know how you all feel about us.
The people of Carbo have suffered for generations from the dust and the pollution that came from the power plant. They finally did away with that. And now you're going to put a landfill in here, and a private landfill. If the county needed a landfill with $7.7 million in grant money, and I keep hearing it called grant money, that's tax money. That came from somebody. And what could the county have done with $7.7 million? And as I drive down the Clinch River and I look at the water basin down through there, what could we have done for tourism with $7.7 million for the Clinch River area? The people of Cleveland have suffered too long and too much. And I heard this man that John Matney Harden brought up from Florida, and he quoted a lot of facts and figures. And he quoted about a successful landfill out East Virginia. And I researched it. And he said the county got enough money to build new schools.
You got 30 seconds.
Well, I'm asking you, if you get enough money from this, will you build a new school over in Carbo? Some people work all year to go to the beach. I work all year to sit on my back deck, and it's the most peaceful place that I've ever seen. I invite all of you all, come to the March 8th meeting. You all say you can't answer questions here.
3 times.
If you come to March 8th meeting, you can talk there and answer our questions. Thank you.
Tammy Miller.
Get 2 for the price of 1.
That's okay.
Tammy and Larry Miller from Johnson's Hill, just out of Fanning. We want it to be known to all of y'all that we do not want this landfill. You can sit back here and think about things and just say you do, but everybody needs to voice to y'all that we do not want this. We live right up on the hill from the train tracks that come through that's going to haul everything through. And we lived away from here years ago, and we come back home because we wanted to raise our children, our girl and our grandchildren here. And we just want you to take into consideration that all the people that have spoke to you against this versus the people that have talked to you for this. We ain't going to take no 3 minutes out. We just wanted everybody on the panel to know that we do not want this.
And my concern is their children and their grandchildren, health issues and asthma and everything that goes with it. It's going to affect us all. And a lot of sick people here. That's my concern.
Thank you for our time.
Thank you.
Larry Miller. Chad Wiry, is that it? Is that your last name? Chad. Did I butcher your name? Harry.
Hello, my name is Chad Terry, and I live out on Gravel Lick Road, just right down the road from Mr. Dingus. And it's about 2.5 miles from where we live there. And our water is the greatest water in the world that comes straight out of the tap. You ain't got to worry about buying bottled water. If anybody wants to fill a jug up, come to the house. It is the most amazing water in the world. And we don't want to be a third world country taking everybody else's garbage. They may think that we're a third world country down here below Richmond and Roanoke and treat us like that. And, you know, there's whole islands of places that have trash that's really, the islands are growing, but it's garbage. And if we do that here, you're going to have problems. Now, I'm not going to have any problems. But y'all going to have problems because I'm going to be dead in about 20 years. You know what I mean? Y'all's kids. Y'all's, legacies are going to be there, not mine. I just want to say no to the Moss 3 plan. I think that everybody should stop thinking about the money for just a second and start thinking about each other. That's me. That's my D, and I yield my time.
Kara Levin.
My name is Kara Couch. I'm a lifelong resident of Russell County. I've lived at 91 Barnett Hollow on Gravelwood for over 30 years, and I'm here to ask you to vote no on the Moss 3 landfill. I will keep this fairly brief. I sent each of you a very long, detailed email with all my thoughts on the matter. Thank you, Ms. Voss, for responding. The landfill isn't in the best interest of anybody in this room, nor any resident of this county. I've yet to hear one good thing about this project from anybody inside or outside, which may explain the lack of transparency surrounding it. Why should we all have to show up at 9 a.m. on a Saturday to ask you not to ruin our beautiful landscape with a landfill that is basically 300 times the size of the failed dump at Bristol? We're here because this is our home. This is where a lot of us were raised. We don't want to see our homes literally trashed by a business venture that will fail in a few years. The environmental impacts are huge, the health effects are scary, the financial impacts will be enormous, and we, the citizens, will be on the hook for it. Do the right thing, please. You do have the power to stop this. At this point, it is in your hands. We will support you if you support us. Protect your home, protect your citizens. Please oppose the Moss 3 landfill. Thank you.
Jennifer Chumley.
Good morning. So, my name is Jennifer Chumley, and my new address is next door to Moss 3, Cleveland, Virginia. So, most of these fine folks have said most of my points. I know that you guys get the points. But I think, I look at your faces, and one thing I want to point out is it did say decades. That's what they're asking for, decades of putting trash in our area. That's on DEQ's website. You can read it straight in their letter. But, one thing that's been brought up is the ordinances. The 2017 ordinance opened the door for private landfills. After some research, 2010 has the same exact language in it. 91, we actually banned private landfills in this area. That is a fight that happened after the fact of a company trying to come in here with a thermal burn unit. You can read the newspaper clippings for that. So I think this that I will present to you guys afterwards. I made you each a copy. You can look over it because I won't have time to get to all of it. But, one thing we look at is that there's different companies involved in this. And it gets confusing because you got Russell County Reclamation and then you got Nova Company of Virginia. And they're working simultaneously with each other, but they're not doing the steps properly. And if they can't get step 1 correct with the DEQ, how can we ever trust them to get anything correct? How can we trust them to bring in trash into our area? I mean, they couldn't even get the notice of intent correct. They advertised as Russell County Reclamation, but their Nova Company is the one proposing the landfill. So, there's an issue straight off the bat. So we got two different companies. As we all know, there's no wastewater treatment plant over there. Cleveland can't handle it, nor do we want to route Cleveland's wastewater to this location. I spoke about the notice of intent. The fact sheets basically say you guys have the power. Everybody we've contacted say you guys have the power. That's DEQ. That's our legislators. That's everybody. They say it's a local issue and that this needs to be decided by this board. That's why we keep coming back. That's why we keep asking you to vote no. I've looked at the host agreement. I provided Nate a copy with some notes on it. I'm going to provide each of you of that. And, you know, there's issues that this host agreement has been said that if you guys vote no, Manny will take us to court. Okay. He'd have to win it. He'd have to win that battle. Then above that, he would have to go back and negotiate a host agreement with him. This is not a special host agreement. It's a pretty standard one. There's better ones out there. There's some with good neighbor programs, there's property assurance programs. So I've made notes on it. I'm going to hand you each a copy of it. I guess I'll give it to Lonzo. He can hand it out to you guys. I made you each a copy. But it's a devastating environmental impact on our waters, our streams, our wildlife, our area. So we ask that you vote no, please, in solidarity.
That concludes the list of comments. Board want to take a short recess? Yeah, let's take about a 10-minute recess. Then you're about an hour and a half. We'll come right back and get through the rest of the schedule.